Hi there, and good morning. I'm Travis Harvey, and I'm going to spare the long introduction myself to instead introduce you to a foundation that is both near and dear to my heart, and one I hope by the end of this presentation you understand a little bit more about and understand the importance of its mission. Today we're going to talk about these items, the introduction to what the foundation is and what it does, as well as some of its major functions and services. We're going to cover the organizational structure, as well as funding and budget, and then cover or end with a sector overview that we'll discuss what some other 501c3 organizations are doing in this arena. But first, I'd like to introduce you to my reason for caring about the That Others May Live Foundation. This is Captain Chris Stover. He was a friend of mine. We went to college together for 4 years. After graduating together, we went down to pilot training in Columbus, Mississippi, where for about 6 months we were roommates and training partners going through initial qualification training for the U.S. Air Force. Halfway through the program, we split into different tracks. I went on to fly heavy aircraft, and Chris went on to fly helicopters, something that he dreamed of for many, many years. After the completion of his training, he was selected to join the elite U.S. Air Force rescue community, where he served as a combat rescue pilot. This involves going into combat zones to pick up pilots like me who may have been shot down and getting them out of there. He's deployed multiple times to Afghanistan and other places around the world where there's a humanitarian or crisis need. And additionally, he did some training missions around the world. In January of this year, though, he and his 4 crew members all died tragically in an accident on the shores of England. And it was then that I was introduced to the That Others May Live Foundation. I went to his funeral, and they'd held a wake there for not only for his members of his community, the Rescue Society, but other friends of his. And I was really impressed also what they were doing for his family and widow. And this is what I'd like to talk to you about today. So here's a quick little history of the That Others May Live Foundation. In 1998, 2 helicopters collided on a training mission in the Nevada desert. It left about 12 airmen dead and 8 children without fathers. The foundation was initially set up in response to that incident to provide college scholarships for those 8 children. The following year, in 1999, there was another helicopter crash, and an additional 2 children were left without father, and a scholarship foundation was set up for them. These 2 independent scholarship foundations quickly realized that they were doing the same mission and joined forces in 2002 to fulfill the original obligation to those 8 children, as well as expand to others that may have faced a need following a crash or an incident. They expanded to include all the members of the community affected from 1996, when we had the Khobar Tower bombings, onwards. Today they cover about 21 known children with scholarships and other assistance. The mission that you see there is providing critical support, scholarships, and immediate tragedy assistance for the families of the United States Air Force rescue heroes who are killed or severely wounded in operational and training missions. To this end, they run 3 major functions or services, which is the Beneficiary Assistance Program, Warfighter Liaison Program, and the Community Ambassador Program. The Beneficiary Assistance Program is the kind of bread and butter of their original mission, and that's to provide support for the families and widows, as well as, recently, those that have been permanently affected by an incident, such as brain damage or the loss of limbs. It provides scholarships for post-secondary education, career guidance and counseling for the widows and for the children. They provide support and assistance after mishaps as like an immediate relief type program, and provide mentoring and grief counseling to help people through the process of grieving. They also run a Warfighter Liaison Program, which supports current members of the rescue community who are deployed around the globe daily in support of different operations we have going on. And this is largely a care package and letter writing program to raise awareness and provide support to the morale of the deployed members. Finally, they have a Community Ambassador Program, and this is provided by an at-large function of the organization and foundation, and where they represent the community to national leadership around the country and provide a voice and face to the community. The foundation is served by an executive board, council, directors, and those ambassadors at large. There's an 8-member executive voting board, and they fill other functions such as president, secretary, and treasurer. They are advised by the Senior Advisory Council, which has about 10 members and includes members from across the military and civilian sectors that have an interest in the rescue community. These may be four-star generals or presidents of corporations that provide material and resources and training to the rescue members. There's also an executive board of directors, which again has about 8 people, and the at-large ambassadors, which includes a much longer list and includes also all those that serve on the board and council. They also have 2 paid staff members, an executive director and a deputy executive director for operations. And these 2 individuals are primarily focused with the daily task of raising money and maintaining the status of the foundation. So it's a small staff and a large board type of organization. Here's a quick overview of the income they had for 2013, which is the most available data, or most recently available data out there. The large bulk of their income was about $350,000, comes from fundraising events that they hold throughout the year, which include golf tournaments, poker runs, and some other fundraising charity type event nights. The federated campaigns, which those of you in the Air Force or the military might recognize as the combined federal campaign, is the opportunity for organizations to present to the military and government once a year a request for donations. And it's a direct payroll deduction for federal employees if they choose to support organizations. And you can see that it makes up a significant portion of their income. There's other contributions such as estate gifts and then a little bit more from program service revenue. So direct support from organizations like the United States Air Force who helps them out. Here's a quick look at their expenses. You can see that the majority of their expenses on a yearly basis go to wages. This is a little misrepresenting because they just hired 2 staff members and are working through the wages and that sort of stuff. But you can see where grants make up about a quarter, and it's going to be a growing quarter as these 21 children mature, and we continue to add to it along with these crashes like we had in January of this year. Here's a quick overview of the sector. The 501c organizations are public charities, private foundations, and religious organizations. The religious organizations are exempt. They're not required to register, but oftentimes many do. So this altogether includes about 1.1 million registered organizations. Then the National Taxonomy categorizes the That Others May Live Foundation as a T type, which is philanthropy, volunteerism, and a grant-making foundation. This sector includes a lot of small charities, about 75%, and their total expenses run about $50,000 or less per year. And this is where the Others May Live falls as well. There's about 30,000 organizations, but they control about $114 billion in assets. It represents 3% of organizations overall, but 1.6% of the revenue and 4.6% of assets. There's a little bit of a discrepancy there between the revenue and the assets, and that's because these foundations are saving money for long-term investments such as scholarships. I encourage you, if you're interested in the organization, that you follow up and check out their website, thatothersmaylive.org. You can make a direct donation there. Or if you're a military or government employee, you can provide some of your direct contributions this year during the combined federal campaign. There's their number there, 61226, and the campaign starts September 1st of this year. Thank you.